A couple of years back, Geely introduced the Coolray Sport to the market, and there were a lot of haters, there were a lot of doubters out there thinking there's another Chinese brand out to take on the big boys. But a few years after, look who's laughing now. Geely is so confident and so proud of their Coolray Sport that in fact, they've released their first limited edition car in the Geely Coolray Sport Limited. In fact, there's only about 1,000 of these out there, so you might want to get in line, and I'll show you exactly why in our review. How's it going, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be looking at the Geely Coolray Sport Limited. Now, the Geely Coolray Sport has always had that sporty vibe to it, but the Geely Coolray Sport Limited ups the ante just a little bit. For example, it's got these nice carbon fiber look lip and in the rear as well. You also have these red accents on the grille, which you can find on other Geely Coolrays as well, but it's pretty much pronounced in this color, especially this one right here, this gray color, which I absolutely love. It's got some nice lines. You also have these full LED headlamps and fog lamps to boot. If you look closer at the lower part of the grille, you also have this nice carbon fiber look fog vents in front. I mean, it's just this huge piano black grille here, but the overall look of the Geely Coolray Sport Limited is definitely a winner in my book. If you're wondering why in the recent years compact sedan sales have been waning just a little bit, this is your answer right here. Most sedan guys want their cars to be sporty, to be sleek, but the Geely Coolray Sport definitely offers that part, but in a crossover package. I mean, check this out. It's got these nice lines on the side, those smooth character lines by the door panels, but of course it's a crossover, so the mandatory black plastic cladding is right there. One change in the Geely Coolray Sport Limited are those blacked out mags. I mean, check this out. Those are 18-inch mags, but they feature some sort of turbine design. So a lot of JDM fans in the 90s will recognize that turbine design, and Geely recognized that. It's right there. Now, the thing about the design of the Geely Coolray Sport is that, well, I'm not pretty much a fan of two-tone color schemes, but especially with this one right here, you got your blacked out roof, your blacked out black plastic cladding in the middle. It seems like a car sandwich, if you may. But with this particular colorway, this gray one in the Geely Coolray Sport Limited, I think it's nicely integrated, but it's something lighter. I might have my doubts about that. Leave us a comment in the comment section down below and tell us what you think. Now, if the side profile seems a little bit contentious when it comes to design, it's in the rear end that I think the Geely Coolray Sport Limited follows through. I mean, look at this huge blacked out WRC inspired wing that integrates nicely with those side windows, and especially with this huge rear diffuser right here. I mean, it's so huge, it even has legit quad exhaust at the bottom, and even this nice reflector at the bottom right there that gives it an extra rally inspired look. You also have this nice LED tail lamps. Now, I do love this brushed look with the Geely typography on the middle part of the rear end. But one quirk that I see is that you got this Geely branding on this brushed aluminum strip in the middle, but you also have another Geely branding on the left side of the vehicle, which I think might warrant a badge delete in the future. I mean, most sporty guys know that probably shouldn't be there. And another thing, you got this Coolray badge here with this nice detail with an infinity logo. I don't know, but there's one more feature about the rear that I think you might like that's not available on any other trim. Now, that feature that's only found in the limited edition of the Geely Coolray Sport is this: power tailgates. Wait, guys, I think it's broken. Just kidding. I mean, this thing right here, you can actually adjust the power tailgate to whatever height you need it to be and can go up this height right here. So, for example, you're parked in a tight space or it's raining so hard, you want it only up to this side so you won't damage the paint. Just set that manually, like so, and click this button right here. Hold it for a few seconds until you hear a beep. There you go. And then just click it, just press it again. Going to close all the way down, and the system's going to remember where you set it to. Let's open it up again, and as you can see, it's set up right there. But of course, you can always set it up way up high there. Just click that button and hear that click, and it'll open up to that height next time. Now, Geely knows its customers. It knows its customers as sporty guys who wants their cars fast, who wants their cars sleek, but they know they're practical as well, especially during this pandemic seasons. Power tailgates are very useful whenever you're bringing all those groceries up and you don't have anyone to help you out. So, nice job, Geely. Opening up the power tailgate right here gives you space to all this room for you to put all your stuff in right there. It's got, of course, this tonneau cover, which is pretty standard in all crossovers. Also, this nice place for you to put your tools in. Of course, underneath there, you got your temporary spare tire. Also has 60-40 split. But what I most especially like about the Geely Coolray Sport's rear end here is you got your courtesy lights and these nice pockets for you to put all your loose items in so you can have it easy to reach. So, you know what, enough of the exterior. Let's go ahead inside and I'll show you a couple of things, especially that one item that I think might be the determining factor for you to get the limited edition over the other trims. Walk off. So inside the Geely Coolray Sport Limited, you'll find that there's not much of a difference with the regular trims that were available, apart from this updated black headliner, which I think adds a little bit more to the sporty vibe of the limited edition. Now, it's got the usual trims you usually find in the Geely Coolray Sport. You've got this nice brushed aluminum trims all around, which in my opinion is so much better than piano black. You guys know how much I don't like piano black because of how smudgy your whole interior gets, especially with my greasy, oily fingers. But with this one, there you go. There are no marks at all. And one thing that I love about the interior is that there are no blank switches at all. You know how usually you buy your car, say you find blank switches everywhere because you know that the company was not able to bring that feature to the Philippine market, knowing they want to keep the price down and everything. But with the Geely Coolray Sport Limited, you can find that all these switches do something, all right? Got red accents in the inside here on your leather seats. You also have this red material. It's soft touch on the dashboard with stitching and this nice red center console for all your stuff. It's got cold air conditioning. By the air conditioning, it's automatic climate control. It's single zone, but at least you have automatic climate control, which is nice. Now, again, it's about the small interior details inside the Geely Coolray Sport Limited here. I mean, look at these door handles here. They're nicely integrated into the entire interior. At first, when I was inside, I was looking for the door handle for me to get out. Here's a few small minor quirks that I probably find myself a bit iffy about this car. If you're trying to put in your USB cord, it's located underneath this panel here. I thought it would be like other companies where you would have some holes in the middle for you to access it, but no, you have to snake your way all the way around that console before you can plug it in, which is kind of a hassle, but again, with this price range and how everything was thought out, I can't complain really. So on the driver's edge here in the interior, you've got this huge D-shaped and chunky steering wheel. Up front, the gauges feature this large LCD screen, which features, of course, your temperature gauge, your fuel gauge. So again, this huge digital display on the gauges right there, it actually changes themes depending on your drive mode. Heading over to Eco, it becomes blue, which means, just chill drive, no worries. But if you want to go ahead and drive really hard, heading into Sport, the tachometer becomes orange. Now, a lot of you guys, myself included, know the importance of proper smartphone integration. Although the Geely Coolray Sport Limited has a 10.25-inch touchscreen infotainment system, it does not have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, but it has the next best thing, which does have its own pros and cons to it. It's called the QDLink app, which you can download on your Android and iPhone, and all you have to do is just connect your phone via the USB port right there, access the app through the phone and through the screen right here. And what it does is that it mirrors your phone onto your screen. The downside with all this is that, again, it's not proper smartphone integration. It's a bit laggy when it comes to the touch. There's a slight millisecond lag to your touch there, but it's easily, you can adapt to it easily. By using the QDLink app, though, you have to keep your phone on, the screen on at all times, because if you lock it, the screen would definitely clock in here as well, because it definitely just mirrors your phone. Whatever you do on your phone, it happens on the screen as well. That's the one quick downside to it, but it's usable. There are no blank switches here. So below that nice looking fly-by-wire shifter, by the way, this runs in a dual clutch transmission, you'll see your eco button, your sport button, and below that you've got your hill descent control button, the 360 mode. If you click on that 360 mode, you can find GTA mode. That's what I call it, GTA mode. There are only a few cars out there that I found it. You can see your total 360 view of your surroundings with your car right there in the middle with a third-person view. And you've got your parking assist system here. Unlike other models, other vehicles where the parking assist, you have to put the input the throttle and the brakes on it. With the Geely Coolray Sport Limited, it's totally automatic. Just go ahead and set that on and then locate. It's going to help you locate for a parking spot. You just have to select what type of parking you want to go ahead into. One more thing, remember what I told you, that there's this one feature about the Geely Coolray Sport Limited that I like that you won't find in any other trim of this car, and that's this. It's called ventilated seats. Oh wow, goodness. You might think that you might not need it, but again, ventilated seats, once you experience it, you won't want any other car without that feature. Oh, all right. So heading over to the back seat of the Geely Coolray Sport Limited. Let's close that down. In fact, I find a lot of leg room for myself. I'm seating behind my natural driving position, and yeah, I'm pretty comfortable in the back. I especially like the flat floor, well, flat-ish floor. Some people might find a deal breaker would be the lack of rear AC vents. I mean, these days most cars would have AC vents in the rear, especially for crossovers, but I guess that's one more thing that you have to consider when buying a Geely Coolray Sport, especially the limited trim. You do have that one single USB port for the guys in the rear to fight over, but yeah, at least you've got a USB port. You got nice map pockets here, and of course the center console for 2 cup holders. A little fun fact that my crew found out that you family guys might appreciate is that these door handles here and this cup holders actually have this nice anti-slip matting to it that you can actually take out, and right here, and actually right up front. So if your kids go ahead and make a spill, I say kids because some guys actually spilled themselves, so you can go ahead and take them out and clean them. Nice job, Coolray. It even has that nice Aztec patterns to it. Feels like 2012, right? So we got some drive time behind the wheel of the Geely Coolray Sport Limited. Now under the hood, you got the same 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that makes 175 horsepower and 255 Newton meters of torque, which is definitely leading its class. I mean, compared to the other subcompact crossovers out there, I think that with that power, you definitely get a lot. I mean, with the likes of more sportier, premium compact sedans, check this out. Yeah. All right, so we're on the speed limit, so no worries. You get a lot of power under the hood. Right, so powering the front wheels, you've got a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Right, so thanks to that electronic power steering and the McPherson struts up front and torsion rear beam suspension, steering is actually pretty light, you know. It has a short wheelbase compared to most crossover SUVs out there, so it can definitely get away with having non-independent suspension in the rear. Once you set the drive mode to sport, eco, or normal, it actually changes its characteristics as well. It's nice to steer, especially in low speed or during parking situations if you're driving around a parking lot looking for something. But once you hit speed above 60 kilometers per hour, you suddenly feel the steering wheel feel a bit stiff. That's a good thing too, because if you want to stay safe, you don't want a sensitive steering wheel when you're driving at speed. Now, steering is light and agile, but what isn't as solid though is a drive. It doesn't. Let's put it this way, right? So some cars that are more expensive than the Geely Coolray have this certain solid feel to it when you drive. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Geely Coolray is definitely solid. It's a nice driver, good, but it doesn't give you as much confidence as, let's say, European models. But that's the thing, isn't it? if you're starting to compare the Geely Coolray with more European offerings, you start to compare it with them as well. Just keep this in mind. This is just a hair above 1 million pesos. We'll talk about pricing later on. But you're starting to compare it because of the features, because of the power. You're starting to compare it with luxury cars, which you shouldn't be doing, by the way. It's a fuel economy. So with all the power on tap with the Geely Coolray, you'd be forgiven to think that this would be around the low 6 or low 7 when it comes to kilometers per liters in the city. Well, I'm happy to report that for some reason, this is able to reach 8 to 9 kilometers per liters in the city and 14 to 15 on the highway. You can get it for 1,218,000 pesos. That's right, 1,218,000 pesos for a top of the line crossover SUV that makes that much power and offer all these great features, nice amenities, cooled seats, power tailgate for that price. Now, usually you'd be paying so much more when it comes to paying for those features, but Geely's pricing is so aggressive that it's no wonder that the Geely Coolray Sport, in all its trims, is the top-selling 4x2 crossover SUV. Imagine that. Some people might say, oh, it's just a Chinese brand. Chinese brands aren't great, and you can't rely on them. But you can't deny the sales figures. You can't deny the performance. And maybe you got to open your mind just a little bit. The safety features include, of course, your standard airbags. It's got 6 airbags, by the way. It's got ABS with the electronic brake force distribution. It's got traction control. It's got proximity sensors all around. It also has your usual ISOFIX anchors in the rear. But the piece de resistance with the Geely Coolray Sport, and the limited trim, of course, it has that 360-degree camera view. So there you have it, folks, boys and girls. It's the Geely Coolray Sport, and for just 20,000 pesos on top of the regular Geely Coolray Sport, the limited edition one just might be the one for you. So go ahead, head on over to Zigwheels.Ph to find the best deals for you. So you know what, if this video provided you any value, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to our channel and click on that notification icon so that you're alerted whenever we upload a new video. Once again, it's Roy Robles here for Zigwheels.Ph. I'll see you guys next time.